Hello, hello, and welcome. Welcome on into the swear word. I'm your host, Brandon Swear. And hey, this is a podcast for the chilihead community by the chilihead community. Regardless of your spice tolerance, this is the place for you. Up tonight, we have an amazing guest locked and loaded. So, episode 189 starts now. What's going on, Swear Nation? So glad to have everyone here. Whether you're tuning in on YouTube, Spotify, Rumble, and or Apple Podcasts, thank you so much for being here and continuing to make this podcast what it is. Up tonight, we have Denny of Papa Pope's barbecue sauce. We're going to be diving into the inspiration, how he got started, the journey that he's underwent so far, the road ahead, and potentially new products as well. So we're going to be diving all into that, as well as if you have tried Papa Pope's barbecue sauce, if you were out at Zest Fest 2026 and had the pleasure of trying these, let me know in the comments what you think, which one was your favorite. I look forward to hearing about it. But let's do this. Let's go ahead and jump on over to tonight's podcast. Hey, Denny, how's it going?
It's going all right. How are you, Brandon?
Doing great. Glad to have you here. Obviously, had the pleasure of meeting you out at Zest Fest this year and was blown away by your lineup of what you had going on. So honored to have you here and learn more about, obviously, what you have going on with Papa Pope's barbecue sauce. So,
I mean, we just are still plugging along. We do Dallas Farmers Market. We've got Peach Fest in Weatherford coming up. That's going to be pretty big. That place gets packed.
oh yeah.
And then going to be entering a few of our rubs into Barbecue News Magazine's Rubs of Honors. But I think they announced the winners in October, but the submissions by August. So
Okay.
I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's super exciting. Yes, the Peach Fest is a massive thing. Been out there a few times. It is a lot of fun, whether you're a spectator or a vendor. There's just always a lot of traffic, a lot of stuff going on, plenty of things to keep you and the family entertained. So head on out there for that. That's for sure if you're in the area. Well, I guess really the only set question here is one I always ask everyone, which is what got you into, really creating a spicy product, or in this case, your barbecue sauce as well. I know you have spicy iterations, but then also what was that moment for you where you really had your initial, entry into the world of spice? Were you like young? How did that initial experience go?
I've been making our original barbecue sauce since I was 15. It was my dad's recipe, and I convinced him to let me make it one night, and then he said, "Okay, this is your job from now on." So I made it all the time after that, and it really hasn't changed much except for tweaking a few things for bulk production. But I've always made it for family and friends, and not this past November, but the November before in 2024, my wife followed me around the house telling me, or asking me I should start jarring it up and selling it. We actually did it started with a craft fair at our church, and that was really the only thing that sold, because I also do wood turning, and when I have the time, which has been zero since starting the business. But I sold a couple pieces, but I sold all this barbecue sauce we had, and my wife did essential oils too, and she sold a little bit, but the sauce really sold. So we thought, let's try this again, and we did it at a Christmas event in Springtown, and it did really well. So it just kind of took off from there, and so far, and that was in February, was when we decided to make it a company, 2025, and it's so far doubled. Our sales have doubled. Our product lineup is probably quadrupled. I've got them all sitting next to me if we need to show any of them. But yeah, we delved into the line of rubs, and now I've got a hot honey. I've got a hot sauce. I've got a couple more fermenting in my pantry. So It's been fun. I like experimenting with
Yeah.
foods.
Well, something you mentioned, obviously the woodworking thing. That's something that I've always been fascinated with. Outside of small whittling type of stuff, that's about the extent of my woodworking skill set. Obviously, using a power saw to put up a fence. That's, I guess,
Right.
possibly still in that same niche, but not quite. So it's like not really the biggest area of my knowledge base, but something that's always fascinated me because the idea of being able to look at a chunk of lumber and then
Yeah.
envision what you're going to make out of it is always very fascinating. Very kind of like
Yeah.
true to the sauce thing. It's you're utilizing just a different set of ingredients to create something out of those ingredients. It's pretty
Yeah. I
fascinating.
mean, yeah. To me, they're both art.
Hmm.
Food Making food is definitely art, and wood turning is obviously art. But that's it. It kind of appeases that need in me. Both of them do. I mean, sauce making sauce always has because I love to cook for people, and I just love it.
Yeah. No,
It's it's very
I can definitely see it. Well, what
yeah.
out of curiosity, what was your initial like dabble with spice? How did that go? Were you like younger and just kind of like that was your initial entry into it, or was that later in life?
No, that was later. I mean, I started making our Chipotle barbecue sauce in my 20s because I wanted it just a little bit spicier and tangier. But as far as heat goes, I kind of came on our ghost pepper barbecue sauce by accident because I had meant to order I think it was cayenne puree and accidentally ordered ghost pepper puree, and my wife was like, "We'll just make some and see how it goes." And I made it, and that stuff is hot. It's hot enough that I'm good for taste testing when I make it, but it's too hot for me to use all the time. But it still tastes good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was actually blown away by the overall depth that sauce had, because oftentimes I feel like, uh, you know, people go out with the mindset of like creating a spicier barbecue sauce and kind of
Yeah,
play it a little safe, if you will, in that sense.
yeah,
Like it's where it's you're not really getting the full body of the pepper or you're not getting the full heat of the pepper. You have done
yeah.
that masterfully with both of
Thank
those
you.
in mind. So was absolutely blown away by that. Yeah, I guess how many iterations does that take to kind of nail that one down?
Really, two, because it was a lot hotter. And when I tasted it, I was like, "Oh, we got to back this down." I mean, all you taste is ghost pepper sour, and what's the point in even once you just have ghost pepper and put it on your food without the rest of it? And so I made another one and backed it off just to, I don't know, maybe a tablespoon in the test batch, and that kind of hit it. But I'm pretty good about knowing what I need to mix together and what portions uh, to get it right. I don't do too many iterations on any of my sauces really. Like my Southern Gold, I knew the first time I made it because I just got an idea of what a Carolina Gold is, and I didn't like some of the ingredients, like people put hot sauce in there, like Frank's or Louisiana hot sauce, and I wanted something a little less tangy, and so I put our Southern Rebel, which is a five pepper blend seasoning, and I used that instead, and it was perfect. But I think I only worked on the first batch of that, and I was like, yeah, I'm bottling this, and I kept that specific recipe from day one.
Oh, amazing. Absolutely amazing. Something that like stood out to me as well during that is I would go ahead and assume that you cook more with feeling and less on the definitive direction aspect. That's like a natural default, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to also I tend to kind of go outside of the box of standard barbecue. Even my seasonings, and they're not, a lot of them are heavy with cumin, and that seems to be a common one. But a lot of my rubs and sauces don't taste like most sauces at all.
Yeah. Well, and it's definitely it's noticeable because or another reason why I was saying that is you're feeling, you're experiencing the love, the soul, the passion in it when you're creating it. It's not just some rigid like cookie cutter that's this, that, and the other. You're actually
Yeah,
getting more out of it, and yes, once again, to tie back to what you mentioned earlier, really playing into the art effect of it all, and
yeah,
it's very very cool to see that happen, and I love the unique approaches to it all because one of the things that a lot of people from the outside looking in like to take the approach of, which is like, okay, well, this sauce has all the same ingredients as that sauce. Well, it's like, no, it's not always about the exact same ingredients. It's about how they're utilized.
right.
So,
And portions
mm,
of each ingredient. I mean, even just a teaspoon of one ingredient can change the whole feel and taste of any sauce. And so that's very important to know portions, which
yep,
is, I mean, when it comes back to the ghost pepper, it's important to know the limits of what you want to put, because you don't. I know a lot of people that like heat, they go for an endorphin rush. I I didn't make that sauce for that specific endorphin rush. I wanted you to enjoy all of it. Maybe get that endorphin rush where you just love the taste of it and you got your heat with it. And so that's my mindset when I make these. Not everything has to be hot. It's what my brother tells me all the time. Not everything has to be hot.
yeah, yeah. Well, hey, like you mentioned earlier, being able to dial in that portion made that sauce extremely enjoyable. I would assume those that are just starting out, that's gonna be a little bit probably pushing them past their comfort zone per se, but you're
Yeah.
not absolutely demolished by it. And then those that are just actively pushing themselves to the fullest, they're going to appreciate the fact that your barbecue sauce with the ghost pepper actually delivers the real ghost pepper flavor and a very nice representation of what you would expect the heat to be like within a
Yeah.
barbecue sauce.
Yeah. And I hear that all the time. Like they say, this is really good. It's not too hot, but it's hot.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, something you'd mentioned, obviously, starting out with your dad's recipe and making that. What from there, because obviously that kind of has its origin background behind it. What was kind of that next sauce there, next product that you started making? Did you switch straight over to rubs or did you continue with the
No.
sauce route?
Oh, I was definitely sauces. I started making our honey barbecue sauce after that because honey's very popular. I love honey, so even in our honey barbecue sauce, I'm quite heavy handed with it. Our original is somewhat low sugar content, just enough to caramelize, but it and keep good flavor. But the honey, I probably comparatively tripled the amount of honey in it because I really wanted the honey to shine through. We already had the chipotle at that point. The next one I tried was a hatch green chili, and that's mainly because we have property in New Mexico, and we like going around traveling in New Mexico, and that's very popular. My growing up, my mom always would cook with hatch green chilies when she could, so I loved it. And that one did really well. We took it off the our lineup for a while, but had to bring it back because so many people were asking for it. And it's a mild sauce. It's not a very hot one, but I put a lot of hatch chilies in that too, where sometimes I have trouble filling the bottles because I still make all this at home, and sometimes it's pretty thick
Yeah.
with the chili. And then after that one, I did the ghost pepper after the hatch, and I semi-retired that one for a while because ghost pepper just intimidates a lot of people. I brought it back for Zest Fest, and then we did our peach habanero. I don't know if you tried that one. We got first place at Zest Fest for that one in the fruit category, and that one has been sold amazingly and tastes fantastic. I came up with it for Peach Fest last year.
Very
I was
nice.
just I'd never been to Peach Fest, and I'd kind of heard about it. And one of the vendors we sell through was talking about it, and I was like, on the drive home, it was when I was stocking some of our sauces. But on the drive home, I called my wife and I told her we've got to come up with a peach sauce. And that one actually took 2 or 3 iterations because I kind of keep with the same core ingredients in all of our sauces. There's about 5 core ingredients, and that kind of gives it my signature
Yep.
of what I like. And then so we came up with the peach habanero, and that one's, like I said, it's just taken off. Everybody loves it. Uh, and then after that one, we kind of stuck with that one for a while, and then I did the Southern Gold. I don't know, October, November, I came out with it, and that actually has surpassed peach habanero in sales by triple. It does really really well, and a lot of people are not super familiar with the Carolina Gold style sauce out here in the Metroplex,
Hmm.
but when they hear about it, they're like, "Oh, I got to try that," and then they usually want to buy it because it just is awesome. It's my current favorite.
Yeah. Well, I
I
love a
don't.
good gold sauce, like
Yeah,
absolutely. But I also I tend to prefer mustard-based sauces, anyways, most times. So that like those are always perfect, but it's hard to find a good one. And yeah, very true to what you're saying. Definitely in the DFW area, unless you're like making something at home, that was pretty much
yeah,
your best option in most cases. So
yeah.
I'm so glad to be able to see your products roll it out and being able to now expand out into hopefully the DFW area to
Yeah.
replace some of these subpar options that are out there.
I don't. I wouldn't think of them as subpar. They've got their place. Everybody, even I don't. I've never been big on super sweet sauces, but there are people that prefer that, and that's the sauce for them. That's the way I see it because I've had many people who, in selling these sauces and letting them taste it at the markets we do it at, and people are like, "This isn't sweet enough," or they'll even say it's kind of sweet, and I'll tell them there's not a lot of sugar in there. So
Yeah.
I mean, you like it really uh, tangy, and that's where the Southern Gold kind of fits what they want.
Yeah.
I don't know if did you try that one at Zest
Yeah,
Fest?
I tried Southern Gold there. I absolutely love that. I think I might have tried. I can't remember if I tried the peach, but I know I tried the ghost. I tried the Southern Gold, and I think I tried two more if I remember correctly.
I
Um,
think you tried hot sauce, the Ghost Pepper Revival,
yep.
which is kind of just a reworking of our Ghost Pepper barbecue sauce. It's a very barbecue leaning hot sauce because I have several people noting that I put a little ketchup in it just to give it an umami
Hmm.
to it, feel to it, and they kind of turn their nose at it. But it's a barbecue leaning hot sauce.
Yeah.
And then we have our Rebel Honey. I think you tried that one.
Yep.
It's a hot honey.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like I said, blown away by what you had there. Obviously, first time really sitting down, trying your products, getting to know you. So that was phenomenal time to be there. It's something that you had mentioned, obviously, with the Peach Festival. That one is absolutely bonkers. The like I mentioned earlier, the amount of people. I was out there. What was that last year? Helping out another hot sauce company, and
Mhm.
they were selling also a peach sauce that was something they rolled out for that event, as
Yeah,
as most do. But that event is so popular. There's handful of these that are in the area, but that one's always so popular that that is one of the few events that I can remember where we had to send someone back for more product because we were out of so many products, right? So we had
yeah,
to go back to the warehouse, grab some more to come back to continue selling. It's events like that that make tremendous waves, obviously for businesses, but also for exposure. And
yeah.
so, I guess how was that first event for y'all whenever attending that or being at that one? And then I guess how has the landscape been? It was Zest Fest, I guess, really the first festival, if you will, to really showcase that, or
No, we've done quite a few festivals. Granbury always does a good festival in their square. They're always fun. A lot of people show up. Here in Springtown, they have Wild West Days. They have their Christmas bashes. They're always way call it is State Fair packed, which is what Peach Fest
Hmm.
is State Fair Texas packed. But we always try and sign up for those. We did Mayfest. It was okay. I mean, with Mayfest, weather is always a factor. So
Yeah.
the first couple of days were not great, but the Saturday and Sunday for Mayfest were fantastic, and uh, we get a lot of exposure. We we entered our a few of our sauces with the NBBQA Awards of Excellence. I don't know if you're familiar with NBBQA.
No, no, I've heard it, but I don't know enough about it to really be knowledgeable in
Yeah,
it.
it's the National Barbecue and Grilling Association, and a lot of the big names are members. It's a you join them, and we went to their, what did they call it? I can't remember the name of the Smoke and Bash or something like that, but it was their 35th annual meeting, and so we met a lot of people, big names in the business, and got a lot of good advice because it's also they have clinics and training classes, and you get to talk to a lot of the big names. We went to that. We won second place with our Southern Gold at that event. Um, and then after that was the next big one was Zest Fest. Well, Mayfest and then Zest Fest.
Yep. Yeah. Well, hey, something as far as like obviously the tying back into the barbecue side of things, that area, that market is obviously so competitive, not only from a business standpoint, but also those that are like the pit masters, et cetera, and finding their nice, as very true to how you have your core five ingredients. They're trying to find their core, structure to how they would like
Right,
to operate. And
right.
it's always fun to watch as new competitors enter that sector and really
Yeah,
start to network, mingle, grow, and then you watch the development of this pitmaster just arise. And it's kind of like watching your favorite team, go and win game after game, and it's just like you have. I would assume it would be very similar to. Just from my own understanding of talking to others in the same area, but more that camaraderie, that partnership. Well, sure, there's a bit of rivalry from a cook competitive side. You
yeah.
have such a willingness to champion one another and really help lift
Oh
everyone
yeah.
up. How
Oh
has
yeah.
your experience been with that?
That has been There are two cool things about doing this business and going to these markets is meeting all the people that are in the barbecue industry. Everybody loves everybody. Very helpful. I've met some cool people. I met Sweet Baby Ray. I've met Famous Dave. Both very, very nice gentlemen. Very abundantly willing to give advice, and they just want to see you make it bigger than they've made it so far. That's what the coolest thing is. Everybody that's been in this business, they want you to be the next big guy in the industry, and I love that. And then just meeting all the different people that can come to our booth and sample our products. It's You meet a lot of interesting people and a lot of cool people.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
It's very rare. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, ultimately, it's got to be something that having a barbecue line, having the dry rubs, having the hot sauce. Are you making barbecue pretty regularly, or is this a periodic rotation? How does your personal
Um,
life look on that?
I, I still have my day job. Luckily, I get to work from home. I've been with the company I work for almost 29 years. I've been with them a long time, and I have the luxury of setting my own schedule. So I am making sauce or rub or doing samples for the next event daily. My afternoons are full.
Yeah.
And
Well,
if I say I'm going to take a weekend off and not do a market, I'm still super busy that weekend. I usually end up making extra of whatever. So I make sauce every day. We have enough of a lineup that I usually have to make that sauce about every 2 weeks
man.
because we don't co-pack anything and we still make it all here at home.
Yeah. No, that's always something that as the business grows, it starts to become at a head on whether or not time allocation is more important, or
Yeah.
if really being able to control the whole process is more important. Is that something that you've already started to think about? Which
Oh,
path you might end up venturing down?
I mean, eventually we will have to co-pack just to keep up with volume and
Hmm.
give me a little bit of a break. Um, and we're on the cusp of our sales reaching to at least start with one of them and get that one selling enough to get the domino effect on
Yep.
getting them co-packed. It's just deciding which ones. I mean, I know that eventually I'm going to have to start co-packing the Southern Gold because it sells extremely well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's also very true to what you're talking about with the co-packing aspect. One of the things that I hear quite often is you kind of have to go court all these people. You have to figure out whether or not they're going to treat your product right, and so on and so forth. Very much
Yes.
like bringing your daughter around to make sure that the person that's going to be taking care of her. Each of your product lines is going to be kind of
Yes.
like that. Um,
Yes, it will be exactly like that. Making sure that you come to them with the recipe, and they will make it. And are they going to be able to make it like I expect it to taste? And that's a tough one. And I know that, I mean, it's a process. Uh, I could give my recipe to anybody, and it will not taste the same as when I make it. I mean, I could give it to my twin brother, and he it won't be the same. It'll be just a little bit different.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's all about that passion, that love, that soul pouring out there, the timing of
Yeah.
everything. All of that really comes into effect. So yeah, I can only imagine it's going to be a bit of a struggle to start, but
Yeah.
hopefully it's not too bad, and you're able to find a co-packer that is able to work with you and be very upfront and clear with how the whole process is throughout. So I know
Yeah.
oftentimes I'll hear a lot of substitution talk being worked in for ingredients, and that's the biggest
Yeah.
killer.
That's a tough one. I mean, especially like with our Southern Gold, which is I'm going to end up talking about that one a lot because that's our bestseller. Uh, I put our Southern Rebel in there, so I would have to provide them enough, and we don't co-pack that either. So it'd probably have to be a situation where when I'm ready to co-pack that one, I'll have to co-pack our Southern Rebel just to accommodate co-packing the Southern Gold, and that being done right too. Which, I mean, it's a good blend of peppers, but it's about the portions and getting that right.
Yeah, but I would imagine that actually might work out better in your favor because it's less individualized bottles needed for helping create the Southern Gold.
Yeah.
So in theory, they should be able to, basically make that batch, but into a larger vessel to utilize for the Southern Gold. So
Right. And I mean, the peppers that they buy, whoever they get theirs through wholesale, may not taste quite the same as the ones that I've been getting, and you'll run into that too. And I mean, a lot of what I've heard is getting it perfect is not going to happen. You're going to have to compromise a little. That'll be
mhm.
just a tiny bit different based on their their supply of ingredients, whoever
Yeah.
that co-packer is. And it's something you just, I mean, initially I would probably, it would just be a process, and I think it would work out just fine. It's a matter of relinquishing some of that control.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and not saying that this is a route that you would have to take, but my brain was already churning, and as we were, talking through this and navigating, and it's like, well, ideally, not much of a change, taste wise, look wise, etc., is the
Right.
key, right? But
Right.
even if it was just ever so slightly different, I could see where it'd be pretty fun for, those that are your loyal customers, those that are the avid returning buyers, etc., to roll out an annual like almost like an anniversary version of that is still, done by you, rolled out in a
Yeah,
small limited number, and say
yeah,
like a fancy black label with some nice gold trim to commemorate the end of that
that's
year.
that's a cool idea.
So,
I'll keep that in my pocket.
yep. Okay. Oh, yeah. It's always fascinating. Okay, well, we were already talking about barbecue. One thing I often, know is debated. Are you a chicken, pork, or beef guy?
Ooh, I tend to lean towards pork. As far as sauce goes, as far as rubs go, I'm more of a chicken guy.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but like doing a nice pulled pork, you put whatever sauce on it. Doing some pork chops, I prefer to sauce my pork chops.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but with chicken, I when I do chickens, I'll smoke them, and I smoke them whole so that I could do a either like a pulled chicken taco or a sandwich, and I I lean towards the rubs with that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and you kind of, I think, already answered what I was about to ask. But one thing, I love a good pork chop as well. But the way that I have kind of grown to, I'll eat them many different ways. But my preferred way is to basically just completely dry, get a nice heavy crust just quickly on the outside, and
Mhm.
then let it slow cook for that remainder of
Oh,
a portion. So you get that nice crisp on the outside, but then afterwards, that's whenever I'll put the sauce on there because I don't like
yeah,
to break up that caramelization.
yeah, and well, I mean, you're if you do it too early, the sauce is going to burn anyway.
Hmm.
But yeah, the best way to do it is sauce it right before you're going to continue cooking it off heat.
Hmm.
And I mean, that's even something you could put in your oven for that slow cook part of it, or
Yep.
even a turkey roaster.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Mm.
or throw it in your smoker after you just put a nice char on it and then finish cooking it in the smoker. A lot of people do that with ribs, so why can't you
Yeah.
do it with a pork chop too?
Yeah, which is always interesting because, like, well, most, I guess really the step in the process and how you do it, I guess could be argued either way. But I've always started. It seems like more so in the smoker to finish in the oven inside, as opposed to flip flopping it. But yeah, it's just ribs and the chicken and the pork obviously all need different iterations. Is that kind of what happened as far as the inspiration for the different dry rubs that you have? Were they intended for different
Yeah,
use cases and meat applications, or how did that pan out?
I kind of go for an all-purpose use, except for when I came up with our butter my garlic. I the reason I came up with this is I challenged myself to make a seasoning that was all white ingredients. Everybody's got the most famous one for that you see around for the all black ingredients is like a black garlic
Uh-huh.
rub, but the butter my garlic is. I just challenged myself to do an all white one. Is that our website?
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't put. We have everything on Etsy,
Okay.
but I haven't updated our website. We're looking at possibly switching services, so
Ah,
I haven't
okay.
updated that yet.
Well, no worries for anyone that is looking, watching right now. This is the Pop-Up Pope's barbecue sauce website currently. Head on over there. As he mentioned, there's also the Etsy. I'll have that tagged in the description down below. But you're getting a good representation of,
Yeah,
I would say, the majority of the lineup. Correct?
yeah. The only thing on that's not on there is the butter my garlic.
Okay.
It's pretty good. We only started bottling that 2 weeks ago, so
Nice. Well, that makes sense. It's a timing effect between those two. If you
yeah,
have a new product, the rollout, the campaign, the announcement, all the stuff.
yeah. We
Yeah.
always get excited about releasing it, and then we're like, oh, we haven't put it online yet. But we kind of do that to gauge reception of the product. And I mean, for Zest Fest on that butter my garlic, I sold almost 50 bottles
Very
just that
nice.
weekend for us. And a face to face event, that's huge.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Well, and
so
I mentioned this. What I think the last podcast, maybe two. It's just ultimately the ability to be able to grab someone's attention in that moment when there's tons of other vendors, tons of other people around,
Yes.
capture their attention for them to stop, and then capture their attention to try some products and then later buy the product. It is each step, each hurdle is its own task. It's its own, you know, I guess it's to some folks potentially a headache. Definitely if you're extremely introverted, it could be
Yes.
a bit cumbersome.
Yes. Yes. And for my wife and myself, that we do run into that because she is a little bit of, she could talk to anybody.
Hmm.
She just has a little trouble initiating conversations with people. I have no problem with that whatsoever. So I tend to bring them in, and she helps, you know, get them samples, maybe complete the sale, answer any questions they have. But I tend to be the one to bring them to the table.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's definitely great, nice team effort, nice team
Yeah,
duo there to be able
it
to
works.
utilize. Obviously, that helps efficiencies of your table when you're at booths or when you're at events like that at the booth. It doesn't bottleneck anything in that way. So always great to see that working out. Running that solo can be a bit much whenever you're trying to, basically talk someone through something, ask someone's interest, bag someone up, and make process of
Yeah,
payment all at the same time. So,
right. I mean, the biggest one is if you're by yourself is somebody trying to make up their mind when they are trying everything and telling this person, "Come on over, and I can get you a sample of what, so you can make your decision."
yep,
Or somebody who's like, "I already know what I want. I want to buy this," and doing it by yourself can. Luckily, I would say 99% of the people are pretty patient
hmm,
and understanding and very polite. You might get that one occasional person who is just like, nah, they don't want to wait, and they move on. They
yep,
might come back later. A lot of times, what they do is they just come back later.
yeah.
Um, but I tend to not do the most events by myself. It's always best to have two people there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, not to mention just set up, tear down, all that. If you're doing that solo, it's a bear. You're already exhausted from the day. Then you're having to tear everything down, wheel it out to the vehicle, load it on up, and then get down the
Yes,
road. Like, yeah.
absolutely. That makes for a tough day, but I've, I've done it.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you want to make the sales and keep it going, you got to do it. But yeah, those are tough days.
Yeah, well, and something. It's like ultimately, if you're not pushing yourself, you're not going through that kind of struggle, that growth experience, if you will, then you're leaving a lot on the line for someone else to step in and really kind of take that chunk for you.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
so, yeah, and I mean, it's something we talked about earlier with the co-packing aspect. While sure that would alleviate some of the load off of your plate, it also frees up you for being able to continue the creative outlet, to be able
Yeah,
to tinker with things, obviously enjoy some of these test products on some nice pieces of food, and enjoy life more, I guess, to put
yeah,
it
yeah.
simply.
I mean, that's the ultimate goal is to, well, one is to be able to just try and make new products while the other ones are being made for me. Because I would definitely like to delve a little more into the hot sauce field and the rubs. I don't see myself making too many more sauces in the near future, but I definitely want to try my hand at doing fermented hot sauces. The one we have is not fermented, and I actually have some in our pantry that I just put it together on Sunday, and we'll see how they work out.
Yeah.
One of them is for Peach Fest.
Okay. All right. All right.
We'll
Well,
see, we'll see how it works out, though.
I'll have to see if I can't sneak away to Peach Fest even for a little bit just to come say
Yeah.
hi and check it on out. Like I said, was there last year. This year, so my oldest sister lives out in Weatherford,
Hmm.
so she's I guess that would be a potential good avenue to go out that way, at least say hi
Yeah.
and swing by the event. I'll have to what exact date is that again? I'll go ahead and
The 11th,
the
July
11th.
11th.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and toss that on my calendar real quick and take a look at that. So, Yeah, no, great times there. It's also mind blowing, which I didn't know, even though living so close to Weatherford, I never knew that it was more originally known for watermelon than it was peaches.
I didn't even know that.
And
That's
yeah,
interesting.
this last event is whenever I was told about that, and I was like, oh, so last year's Peach Fest. I was like,
So, so watermelon's the stepchild now and doesn't get to have its own festival in
yeah,
Weatherford.
so I think I can't remember if it was like the area that was best known for that, or what the case, if they just all, whatever the case was. And so
Yeah.
essentially they lost that distinction from my understanding, and that's why everything switched to peaches. So I think they
Okay.
went to like number two or three or something like that, right?
I mean, I could. That would be cool to see a watermelon festival, just to see the different products people come up with.
Yeah.
I don't think I would watermelon anything though. A watermelon barbecue sauce?
No,
No.
no. That sounds wrong in all different kinds of ways. I mean, the consistency that you need for barbecue sauce, the natural consistency that watermelon would go into,
Yeah. You
it
can
would
do a
be,
glaze,
yeah,
but
yeah.
even then, I mean, watermelon with different meats.
You would have to do like, which I don't even think you could do a real marinade very successfully with that, because the with watermelon being a lot of natural sugars within that process, it would permeate, and I would think it would just burn more than it would actually
Yes.
allow the thing to
Unless you
cook.
slow cook, unless you slow cook it or smoke it. But even then, it would just end up being a burnt mess.
Yeah,
Thinking about it,
I think I would rather
you
just
do
do a
it.
mist, like a
Yeah.
spritzing.
Oh well, yeah. That might work.
Yeah,
That might work. Or you do something like a hot sauce that leans towards dessert use.
yeah. Well, there's quite a few companies that actually have a watermelon hot sauce out there. Some of them, the versatility and use case from my own personal explanation standpoint perspective, there's the majority are leaning more towards like they're good, but I would say they're more novelty. Like you don't having a high turnout of people churning and burning through that sauce. As to where there's
Yeah.
others that have managed to balance it to where it still utilizes itself as a sauce, but also
Mhm.
pairs phenomenal in, say, like a lemonade or a tea or something like that to give it a little
Ooh,
bit of
yeah.
sweetness and a little bit of spice. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's like I have a peach habanero finishing dust in the works.
okay,
I've already made it. We don't have the labels for it yet, but I want to sell it. And I've made wings with it. I've tried it on a couple things, but yesterday I actually took a taste of it on just a tub of the pre-made or no bake cheesecake that you can get at the store, and
mm-hmm.
it was pretty good on there. So I could see that being a something too. But I mainly put it together for Peach Fest. You got to have a few peach products, and we're going to try to have three at least. Uh,
Absolutely. Well,
it was pretty good.
I would say you mentioning that finishing dust, that worked into some, like, baked into some sugar cookies for a spicy
Yeah,
peach habanero sugar cookie. That
that would be really good.
could be pretty darn good.
Yeah,
So,
I may have to test that out and post a recipe for it whenever we start selling it. But I try to. That's another thing I was going to talk about. I try to put recipes online.
uh-huh.
Segue to that. I haven't been too good about it. Really, the problem is having enough time after making all the sauces and everything. I don't cook a lot anymore. I cook a lot of sauces is what I end up doing. And when I do have time, it's occasionally I'll make something. But yeah, we've got what is there 6 recipes up there?
Yep.
There needs to be a lot more.
Yeah, there's 6 right now. Obviously you got the great visual breakdowns on some of these, hey,
Yeah.
First thing I notice here is if someone is not familiar with bacon weaving We need a
Yeah.
whole separate course on just bacon weaving because I've seen some sloppy done jobs for bacon weaving. Not saying it doesn't taste great. Bacon tastes great regardless, but that that's
You got
its
to do it.
own art.
Yeah, you got to do it to where it'll actually stick together when it's cooking.
Hmm.
Got to
Uh,
properly overlap, and when it overlaps, that part that's underneath's got to cook properly too. That's would be part of that whole class. But if
yeah.
you know how to properly weave bacon, man, you can wrap anything in bacon and smoke it.
Oh yeah. Well, what's funny is one of my initial entries into understanding like bacon weaving. This was like early on, I guess, where keto was like just starting to become popular. What, 2015, 2014, something
Something
like
like
that. Um, and I was trying to find. I was determined to find a absolutely like a carb-free version to make both a pizza like base, if you will, like the instead of dough having something
that.
there, or same thing with tacos. Like I wanted a crunchy taco shell, and I was like, how can I do this? So I bacon weaved it, and I just cut it into the shape that I wanted, and then I put the little metal tray in there and had to use toothpicks to kind of like stab between so it would crisp
Yeah,
straight up without flopping over. Um,
yeah,
but they were good. Now, were they the greatest thing for me? Probably not. But you know, it was those times were more of my cheat meals, if you will, with keto than it was anything else. But there was a lot of fun, and then from there, that kind of snowballed into being able to do sandwiches with bacon weaved, you know, top bottom crunch.
as
Obviously,
the
then
sandwich,
yeah,
as the bread.
so yeah, I would do as the bread. I did the bacon on weave on both the top and bottom, and since well, there's the
Yeah,
protein. All I had to do was put in like the things like the lettuce or the tomato or whatever else I wanted in there,
yep,
and then spread on. I ended up spreading on some mayonnaise, and then dusted that with some dry seasonings, and then just ate
yeah.
that like a BLT.
Heck yeah, that would be good.
Yeah,
Bacon's not good for you health wise, but it's very good for the soul.
yeah, yeah.
That's the way I see
Sometimes you
it.
need that comfort.
Yes, and I mean that's to me that's the ultimate comfort. If you
Yep.
can mix bacon in with whatever you're cooking, it makes it that much better.
Yeah. What's I guess what's your favorite thing when you were actively cooking and grilling and all these other things on a regular? What was your favorite meal to go to?
Ultimately, my favorite thing is brats. When it comes to grilling, to smoking, I would go with pulled pork or chicken. But like if you're grilling, whatever I'm grilling, there are going to be brats there too.
Hmm.
And that I tell all the people, everybody that all my sauces and seasonings, because there's nothing wrong with putting a little dry rub on the outside of a brat
Nope.
and grilling it. It'll stay
Yep.
there.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, that's my absolute favorite thing to
There's nothing
cook is
wrong too with toasting a brat bun over the fire and then slathering some butter on it while it's hot on the inside, and then giving it a dusting of seasoning in there
oh
to
yeah,
drop that in, and then I'm already picturing it now, dropping that Carolina Gold, that Southern Gold on top of that, and you got the boom. You got a perfect with a nice little sautéed onions and et cetera on top. Oh yeah.
somebody's hungry.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, this is the problem. My brain is just constantly creating, constantly thinking of combinations, flavor pairings, aromas, overall presentation. Like that's just how my brain's operating at all times. It's a real
Good problem.
struggle. So I've
Struggle.
always jokingly said I'm a fat kid trapped in a skinny kid's body because of how I've always lived my life. The only blessing I have is being able to have a very nice metabolism that apparently can keep up with my cravings. So,
I wish, because I'm a fat kid trapped in a fat man's body.
hey, you know, it it's it it's one of those things. It was just like I've never I've always been the one that's just never satisfied, always eating. I'm the person that whenever you go to the churrascaria and you have the card, my card's always up green. They have to come cut me off before I cut them off. So
Yeah. You're dangerous at a Brazilian steakhouse, I bet.
yep, yep. Every time. That's whenever the family is getting ready to go. My in-laws will typically call me to see, and we'll go along. And they go there with knowing that they'll at least get their money's worth if I'm sitting there at the table eating as well. So it eliminates those that are less prone to eat.
Yeah.
That factor out.
It must feel good to be counted on for something there.
Yeah. Hey, you can't twist my arm too hard. I'll come running at the smell of picanha. So,
Yeah.
uh,
And man, that's a good one.
yep.
I could go on about that, but yeah.
Well, okay. We've kind of talked a little bit about the origins, the process in which you've kind of thought through these different sauces, seasonings, hot sauce, etc. We kind of got a glimpse into the look of some of those products that you have envisioned, and some of those that are even really knocking on the door to come on out. From a growth trajectory wise, where do you see yourself wanting to go within, say, like the next 3 years? Are you going to try to aim more towards like retail stores, or are you going to try to
Yeah.
build up an online side? Where's that main focus going to shift?
Well, I think if you're trying to get in retail, you should have a good online presence anyway. But selling online is tough,
Mm-hmm.
especially having to do social media. I'm not good at it. My wife she's getting pretty good at it. But our current goal is first kind of conquer Texas, get our name all over Texas. And then, I mean, we've, you know, between coworkers and friends, we're known
Mm-hmm.
throughout the U.S., but just try and get into more retail spots in Texas. Right now, we're just in mom and pop shops. We're not in any box stores. And once we're ready to delve into box stores, then we're definitely going to be co-packing. But yeah, we just want to get into some grocery stores. That's the next goal.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, the order supplies needed by some of these larger grocery stores. Yeah, the co-packing is an absolute must at that point. Otherwise, you're going to
Right,
be
right.
non-stop going, cooking, bottling, labeling, cooking,
Yes.
bottle, label, just over and over and over again. You would never see the light of day.
Well, yeah, sleep would go out the window.
Yeah.
That is our goal. Probably one of the first ones I would try to get into is HEB because that's everywhere in Texas. I mean, that's what
Hmm.
they are, is a Texas grocery store. But uh, we're just going to take it day by day. We're growing every month to month. We're growing. Our sales in May are double what they were last year, and that's the big goal is just to double.
Yeah.
If we double, we're going to get where we want.
Yeah, absolutely, and
Yeah.
very fast too at that rate. Yeah,
Yeah.
one of the things that I hear often is the ability to get into HEB is quite hard. So
Yeah.
if you're able to start that process, or at least start the conversations, definitely wouldn't be a bad thing to try to get that door and that ball rolling on. Because
Yeah.
everyone that I've heard, it's been them basically talking things over for a year, 2 years, just trying to figure out a way in. Obviously, everyone's got to compete for the same shelf space first and foremost, and then,
Right.
of course, you got to bend the right person's ear to be able to have that door open. So,
Yeah. And barbecue is a tough business because there's a lot of variety. There's a lot of products out there. They tend to be more regional, but I think we'll be able to stand out among a lot of the products out there. What was I going to say? Yeah, HEB does a contest every year that people can enter, and that's not just limited to barbecue, but any food product. And we missed the deadline this year, but our goal is to enter into that next. I think it was April or May.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I think.
trying to enter any contest we can really. If it's especially if it's a sauce or rub contest, we're definitely going to enter into those because that's a great way to uh, you're getting more notches on your belt and you're getting your name out there. And Zestfest was a fantastic one to get our name out there because number one, we met a lot of people in that short time. In those 3 days, we met a lot of people that were really nice and everybody wants everybody else to succeed.
Yep.
And winning a few awards was nice too.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Well, and I wanted to touch on that, so I'm glad you brought that one back up. My brain was every other avenue than that. But yeah, recent quite a few awards at Zest Fest.
Yeah.
I know you had the People's Choice, and then I think you also had some. Did you also get some golden chilies as well?
Yeah, we got three actually. We got Gold. We got in the mustard category. Our peach habanero won first place. These are all first place in the fruit category, and then in the medium sauce category, our chipotle barbecue sauce won first place, and then we got third place for ghost pepper,
Very nice.
which is
Yeah.
cool. Like I said, I kind of unretired it for Zest Fest. It's one of those ones that I'll just bring out every now and then. And that was pretty cool to get top three for that one.
Yeah. Well, hey, amazing awards there that you were able to acquire and get done through those amazing products, obviously. Now, one thing I always like to ask as well, whenever discussing awards and really submissions for contests like this, I've noticed there's kind of been a split. There's those that are creating a product with the intent of what are the judges' personal opinions versus the ones that are going after what are the people's, the crowd's overall opinion. Do you kind of have one or the other that stands out more so to you?
Judges don't sell my barbecue sauce or buy my barbecue. They might buy it because they like it, but really it's what are people going to like and come back to.
Mm-hmm.
That's my preference. I want people to keep coming back to the sauce because they enjoy it.
Yep.
Judging is, that particular event is once a year usually.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't keep a company growing. What keeps a company growing is people enjoying the sauce, telling their friends and their family about it, which is, I hear that a lot. It was like, I heard about you guys and I want to try your sauce. And that's how we make sales.
Oh, yeah.
Judging is cool. Getting those awards is fantastic. But like our peach habanero sauce, I had entered many times before we finally placed and got first place. And it's been our best seller next to our Southern Gold. And that's what means the most is that people actually enjoy it. And that is definitely one that they kind of use it for everything. It's an outside the box kind of sauce. So that's most important to me is what the people want.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
I guess one final note on that, talking about the events, etc. What was because I know I got a lot of questions. I got a lot of direct messages, comments on stuff, just asking about the overall experience of ZestFest. I gave my feedback, at least a good glimpse into it. How was that experience for you from the scope of everything? And did you think that went as well as you were intending, or did it fall on one way or the other?
It went as well as I thought it would. It was my first time going there, and I really enjoyed all the cool people, of course. And I even went around and tried different products too, and some of them were very hot. I mean, that's why you're there. It's Zest Fest.
Yeah.
The thing that I thought was the most funny and the kind of weird, since it's Zest Fest, is do you have anything that's not spicy? I heard that a lot, and I would tell them, I mean, this is Zest Fest, but yeah, most of these sauces over here are not hot. And I just thought that was funny, but
Yeah. Well,
Kind of usually you're going with somebody is going with a few people are going with one person who wants the heat. Everybody else wants to try the other stuff, and I'm all about that.
yeah,
But I thought,
absolutely. Absolutely. Spot on with
yeah,
that. How you'll have those that are obviously the tag-alongs, but something I also have observed over the years is I feel like people walk up to tables asking that question because they already have the expectations that everything that's going to be presented
yeah,
is going to blow their head off. So they
yeah,
figure, let's start at the bottom and work our way up.
right.
And so, yeah, I feel like that's the
That's the right
polite
way.
way of saying, please don't kill me.
Yes, I did have a few people say that too.
Yeah.
um, Another funny thing that was there was this couple on Friday. They walked around with a necklace of pretzels,
Ah,
so
yes.
they could try all the hot stuff, try everything. And they'd eat a pretzel in between the tastings, and that was genius.
Yeah.
I didn't see, I only saw them do that. I saw people walking around with chips or crackers and stuff, but a necklace of pretzels was fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen quite a few interesting choices. It's been a while actually since Zestfest has had a what I like to consider a cool down station per se.
Yeah,
And where it would used to be like a frozen sweet treat or like ice cream or something, right? Intermingled in there.
yeah.
But thinking back on it, I think the only year that I personally had to pump the brakes was also the same year that a whole bunch of people were bringing fresh peppers. There was also a whole bunch of challenge products at that same one. I think this was 2018, and I ended up at I got what probably 80 or 90% through the whole entire thing, trying every single thing there, and then I ate like three fresh super hots, and then there was the Tube of Terror being, I think it was the Tube of Terror being released that same event. So I was obviously sampling Johnny was handing out the one or two nuts at a time to those that wanted them. And I had done that. I had ate those peppers, and I was already having all like that stomach of sauce at that point.
Yeah.
No food. And I was just like, okay, well, just to make sure that this isn't problematic later, I ended up darting over. They had like a chocolate dipped frozen banana thing, and
Ooh.
they had ice cream and stuff like that with it. And I also had chocolate covered strawberries that were frozen, and so I got the whole lineup to just try it all, of
Yeah.
course. And
There
oh my
wasn't one this
gosh.
year. There was no sweet treat or kind of cool down station this year.
No, no, I haven't seen it in quite a few years. That's what I was
Oh,
thinking is
okay.
like, I think the last time might have been 2018 that I remember seeing one. So 2018 or
Wow.
2019, maybe. So,
I know a couple of people that have a ice cream business. I'm going to put a kind of let them know, hey, you should go to Zest Fest because you would do well.
yeah. Yeah. Well, I take that back. They did have one sweet treat, but it was the Sweeties cheesecake.
Those are
At
so good.
least, at least I think it's called, I think his business is called Sweeties. I think it is.
Yeah, it
But
is. They sell in one of the markets that we sell at in Decatur, and those things are good.
yeah.
Their habanero cheesecake is phenomenal.
See, I had to defer to my son and my wife for input on those. I have never been a cheesecake fan at all, and because of that, unfortunately, has made it to where like I've tried. My mom makes these cheesecakes that everyone goes crazy over, but growing up, I've just never like I've tried them so many times. I've tried so many others. It's just one of those things. It's better. Oftentimes it seems like I just walk up there and I say, okay, it's better that I don't disrespect you by trying it
Yeah.
and not liking it just because I don't like cheesecake than you to think that I just don't like your
Yes.
product. So
Yes. Yeah. So it was better to let them do it for you.
yeah, yeah. But it also meant that I had to push them into trying the spicier sweeties cheesecakes that they had. So
Yes. They
because I
don't
needed
do
to
a
know.
lot of meat.
My son's kind of getting pretty good at it. He kind of For the most part, I would like to say he's comfortable slash pushing himself at ghost level. Um, and then I've had him try some stuff that's hotter. Like he'll have sauces that will have hotter stuff in it. But I would say from a comfortability standpoint and also seeing him push, it's probably about ghost pepper. My wife
Oh,
used to be about habanero level. Now she'll work her way up to habanero periodically, but mostly kind of stays cayenne, Thai chili, stuff like that
yeah.
kind of heat. So,
Oh, well, that I mean, sweeties, that's a good area right there between those
yep.
ghost pepper and habanero. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So they had a good time with that as well. Well,
cool.
I guess the next part here is the nugget of knowledge. I geared this one, we can really gear this one towards those individuals that are, very true to how you started out, right? You had a family recipe that snowballed into a business.
Yeah.
Maybe there's someone watching, listening. They have this idea or they've had an idea for a while and they're just on the fence. They're uncertain what to do. What would your nugget of knowledge be for those individuals?
Oh man. So if you're going to go for your passion and something that you love and you want to try, the first thing to remember is keep a thick skin. Opinions are opinions. You're not going to please everybody, but definitely do it. The worst thing that could happen is it doesn't work out and you go on to your next endeavor. And that's life. Just don't dump your life savings at the get-go either. Pace yourself, do it right. Let the business pay for your next stage in that business, and grow at your own pace. But definitely keep a thick skin. You're always going to get the negatives. Usually not as many as the positives. I haven't, but you get the negatives every now and then, and I just let it roll off. It doesn't really bother me, but do it. If you love it, it'll sell itself. That's the most
Absolutely.
important thing, is if you love it and it's a passion for you and you show that, people will be interested, they will enjoy it more, and they'll tell other people to bring them in to enjoy your passion. And
Absolutely. Very
that's
well
the most
said.
important thing. Follow your passion. Don't, like, if somebody decides they want to be an entrepreneur, but they want to go and, I don't know, sell tchotchke stuff, and which, people make good money doing that. But if you have a passion, go for the passion. You'll be happier. You may not make as much, but you'll be happier.
Absolutely. Very well said. Well, this next part here is the hot seat nomination. This is someone that you think would make a great guest for the show.
Ooh, I would say no. They don't have anything hot, but we have good friends in Flower District that they're out of Springtown and they're growing and they're just really cool people, and they make the best snickerdoodles I've ever had.
Ooh. Okay.
But they're a cool couple, and they have a sourdough business. They do everything sourdough, and it's pretty cool. If you want to go towards uh, hot sauces and salsas, I would go with Old Gringos, not El Gringos. There's another guy out here who's just Gringos Salsa here in Springtown, and he's got some good stuff. Everybody knows El Gringos uh, out of Mineral Wells, but
Hmm.
it's a newer guy, and he would be good. He's fun to talk to, also.
Okay. All
But
right.
Flower District, there's some cool folks.
Flower District, Gringos. I'll be reaching out. We'll have a time to have y'all come on the podcast. Thank you so much for those
Yeah,
nominations. Now,
yeah.
this last part here is really just where can everyone find you? How can they find you? Any kind of announcements you want to make? This is a great opportunity for that.
I mean, just keep looking. Follow us on Facebook. It's facebook.com/Papa Pope's BBQ sauce. We're always announcing, putting a month by month calendar. We've started going to Dallas Farmers Market quite regularly. We're always at Weatherford First Monday, Springtown Farmers Market. We're in a few shops in Mineral Wells, Springtown, Azle, Decatur. You can find those referenced in our bio on Facebook, but always keeping an eye because we're always looking for the next event and we're always pretty busy. So just follow us on mainly Facebook and you'll see where we're going to be at.
Absolutely. Denny, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It has been an absolute pleasure having you on here. Obviously, there's still so much more we can dive into. And as new products continue to roll out and as new events continue to happen, would love to continue on that conversation. So would gladly have you back on.
Thank you. Thank you. And if we got something cool coming up, I'll reach out to you.
Denny, has been an absolute pleasure having you on the podcast. If you would like to keep up with Pop-Up Pope's barbecue sauce, I will have the direct links down below for the website, for the socials, all the ways you can keep in touch. And don't forget, as new announcements will be dropping on Facebook for Pop-Up Pope's barbecue sauce, that you will find out first what is going on there. So head on over there. I'll be sure to share things as I see them through stories and through other means on social media as well. And want to say thank you all so much for those that have been rocking since day one, to those that have just recently found the podcast. Thank you for all that y'all do. Continue to share this out with other like-minded chili heads or individuals that are curious about the world of hot, because this is where you find everything to do with the world of hot. And don't forget, if you're on a podcast platform that allows for a rating and review of the podcast, please go ahead and leave a 5-star review. That helps get this in front of more individuals that might be just curious about the world of hot. So also, we have sponsorship opportunities available for the podcast. So if you're looking to have a featured segment, have a sponsored segment, reach out on theswearword.net or reach out on socials and we'll get that conversation started. Also, want to take a quick shout out for our current sponsors, podvision.io. If you're looking to grow your brand, start your brand, you've hit a bump in the road, you're trying to figure things out, highly recommend checking out podvision.io for all of those needs, as well as webdx.one. Maybe you have an online site, maybe you had a guy at one point and you lost contact, maybe you just never got around to building a website. Highly recommend you check out webdx.one. Best of all, they get you looking great online while you get to focus on what you do best. I'm Brandon Swear, and from everything from the world of hot, this has been The Swear Word.